1 second. Okay. Waiting on people. Messaging a few people. Hey, Beanie. Apparently, YouTube's been a total asshole and nobody's been getting notifications about my videos like worth a shit at all. So it's not just you. But got a handful of people I know will be here in a minute. Hey, Isabel, good to see you. Got my tea. Just kind of chilling. Give everybody a minute or two to pop on here and we'll hop into it. I've got a whole shit ton of emails and stories as usual. I suppose I can start out by bitching about work. A whole bunch of drama and crap at the senior center. Been working really hard. And oh, so many people are out sick, and then so many people have been fired and all kinds of dumb shit. And it's just been a huge pain in the ass. And so I basically, everyone was acting super immature today, including the supervisors and people that I hold in high regard. So I basically told them, like, y'all can forget it. I'm not coming in tomorrow. I'm working myself into the ground and I'm missing paying work. So I went and did some other jobs after I got done there today. And then I'm either going to go work tonight or tomorrow. Hey, Christian Bale, pet detective is here. I didn't know American Psycho was a pet detective. And then I might work tonight or I might work tomorrow. I haven't decided which one I want to do yet. Kind of pacing myself. Hey, Billy Bob, good to see you. I actually have an email from you we're going to cover. So we got a few of us in here. I'm going to go ahead and just hop into it. We should be seeing a couple other people here soon. But I'm a little more rested than I have been this week. For those of you that have been emailing me and trying to contact me, I am way swamped. And so I've been like going backward trying to find emails and answer them and having a hell of a time doing it. So as I usually say, don't take any type of offense to it. I'm just working on that kind of shit. It's a whole thing. Okay, so let's hop into some stuff. We'll start with some simpler things. See, I have an email that was buried way, way, way back here that I was like, why is this all the way in here? I need to cover this. And we'll start out with this. Hey, ban all dogs. Hey. Okay, so, geez. This is a silly article, and it's a good way to start out, so I can just, I have an anonymous emailer who loves to hear me rip apart these ridiculous dog-loving rhetoric articles, so we'll start out with this as we wait for more people to join, and this article is titled 10 of the least affectionate breeds of dog that are likely to turn down snuggles and cuddles. Because we all know that's why they have these things, so they can rub on these fucking things and love all over them and all this bullshit, and it's disgusting, and I can't fucking stand it. Okay, so large number of us, not us, have decided to welcome new puppies into our homes last year. According to the Kennel Club, figures of dog ownership soared by nearly 8%, and post-lockdown demand for four-legged friends remains high. There are a whopping 221 breeds of dog. That's just the pedigree dogs, alongside numerous crossbreeds. And we're going to skip through some of this. Here are the 10 least affectionate breeds of dog, according to the AKC. They know shit, but this is all just fucking dumb, and half of these people are idiots. Banal Dogs that used to do videos about indoctrination, and so let's hint on that for a minute. Like, they had 101 Dalmatians, the movie, and everybody wanted a Dalmatian. Dalmatians are terrible with children. They're not good family pets. They do all the sled dog movies, and everybody wants these butt-fucking Siberian Huskies, these murder Oreos, and they want to stick them in their homes. They have movies like Homeward Bound, and suddenly everybody wants, retrievers and Labradors and bulldogs and all of that. And it's this whole fucking thing that's just truly disgusting. So we have number one least affectionate breed is the Afghan Hound. Who could have fooled anybody? Said it's one of the world's oldest breed of dogs, okay, which is actually true. and they say and elegant. I love the sexual terms they use about these things, you know, that they're elegant, handsome, beautiful. I've even heard people refer to the dogs as sexy over and over. Yes, it hurt my brain to say it. I'm sorry you guys had to hear it. They say generally aloof. They'll be completely disinterested in strangers and tend to create a bond with a single person of whom they will tolerate. You know, it's us tolerating them, but okay. Number 2, this is a dog I've had a lot of history with, and one of the first dogs I ever had a violent encounter with, the Chow Chow. Chow Chows are, and they're not saying this is me, these things are assholes. Okay? They're assholes. I remember dealing with one, actually someone had pointed it out, like, what was that last dog? The last dog that I owned, out of the very few that I own, was a cattle dog mixed with a Chow Chow. And it seemed like a normal dog for the longest time, you know, no weird shit. And then suddenly one day, this thing lost its motherfucking mind. And for no damn reason other than me reaching down to get the leash and put on its collar, it reached out and snapped at me and lunged at me. And of course, I kicked the shit out of it. And, you know, I ended up putting it out of its fucking misery because I'm not putting up with no biting dog and I'm not letting it get back out into the environment. So the Chow Chow may look incredibly snuggly, but they're known to be almost, I like how they put like cat-like in their behavior, but I don't really get that from a Chow Chow at all. I'm not defending one or the other. I'm just saying they're truly not comparable. Chow Chows are just rotten fucking dogs. They're nasty motherfuckers. And call them fiercely independent and largely avoiding cuddling, petting, or patting. And that's certainly true. They're not good pets. And I constantly see people with them. And we're going to skip through a couple of these because we don't have to go to everyone, but here's one that's very important, the Basenji. Okay, and they're listed on a lot of the lists, the banned dogs where they have like breed-specific legislation or bans on certain breeds of dogs. Basenjis constantly come up, okay? They're not particularly affectionate, and even to their owners, they completely ignore strangers, and it's the only dog that doesn't bark, okay? It makes a yodeling sound, so it's more annoying than the average dog, right? And no shocker here, the Alaskan Malamute, okay? These dogs, IHD mentioned this on a video, and I'll just second the motion that these things are not bred to be in the home. And constantly these people get these dogs like the fucking butt-fucking Siberian Huskies and the damn Alaskan Malamutes and put them into environments that are just ridiculous, and they wonder why they snap. Okay, and they pull out. They bring up the fact that, you know, they are bred to pull sleds, okay, and that they're independent and they're not snuggly and all that shit. Well, no shit, you know, no dog is receptive to affection. We've talked about that on a few videos before. They don't want to be touched on and all this shit, and you know, we like to force them to do things they're not made to do, and this is so that the human's happy. This has, once again, these dog lovers want to change everything about these things. It's like watching a woman or a man try to say they're in love with or want to be with someone, but they want to change everything about them. You know, they want to change the way they dress. They want to change the way they talk. Well, with dog owners, it's, you know, hey, stop ripping up the trash. Well, dogs are scavengers. They rip up trash. Stop digging holes in the yard. They're dogs. They dig. Stop barking. Well, we bred them, and we discussed that in the barking video from the other day. They bred them to bark over time because they think it makes them security dogs. You know, don't piss all over that. Well, they mark territory. That's what they do. So you take this critter that you claim to like so much, and then you do as much as you can to change everything about it. It makes no sense. They make no fucking sense. So like I said, we'll go through a couple of these. The Shar-Pei. I was glad they brought this up. You guys, this wrinkly, uncircumcised dick. Hey, I don't have a problem with uncircumcised dicks. I have a problem with this uncircumcised dick. Are the smelliest fucking things. And they even make special cleansing shampoos and lotions and shit to make them smell better, and you can't. It's just they fucking disgusting. It grosses me the fuck out. Okay? And they love to say, like, it looks like it was created to cuddle because it's adorable and wrinkly. No. While they're devoted to families and protective, they aren't one of those dogs that show affection. Well, even when they think they're showing affection, they're not. They're just begging for food. These stupid, stupid fucking people. And like I said, I'm going to cut through a couple of these because I don't feel it necessary to bring up every one of them. But any terrier is an asshole. We've learned that. So the Karen Terrier, as people like to get them all the time and think that they're going to make these great like lap dogs, they're not, okay? It isn't big on cuddling. They're friendly when it comes to their owners, but the same cannot be said for the human race. You know, they're only friendly to the food machine. They're like, give me food and I'll be nice to you. Let me love on you. You know, let's see what we got here, what you guys are. Who names these things? All right. Hey, everybody. We got Phoenix Sun is here. Good to see you, Phoenix Sun. Jennifer's here. Good to see you, Jennifer. Indoctrination is rampant. Yes, it is. So these people are gross. I agree, Billy Bob. It's disgusting. Yeah, please hit the like button. That does help get the video out there and seen. And we're starting to be seen on other people's like suggested feeds and stuff, which is great news. Yeah, Phoenix Sun, you are not the first person who said the Chow Chow will turn on the master. The Chow Chow that my aunt and uncle owned, which was the first one that I had an issue with as a child, was a big black one. And it was already aggressive and shitty to all of us kids. And they seemed to just let that happen over and over again, which I always found bizarre. But finally, when it turned on my uncle, he decided it needed to be put down. And I'm like, yeah, now that it's biting you, you know, hey, Asher, good to see you. Fuck Fluffy. Sorry, I meant to send you a message, and I think I might have forgot. I was trying to remember. My brains are scrambled, dude. Cosmo, good to see you. I said they probably get gunk in their skin folds. Oh, and they have a natural smell from those wrinkles. And so, you know, they actually develop, I'm not trying to gross everyone out. I'm just here to give you the facts. They actually develop yeast infections in their folds, like the same ones that women get in their vaginas and the same shit that children, when babies are born, their necks are all tight and they can get them in their, so yeah, it's fucking disgusting. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. It is a mutation, Billy Bob, that they do intentionally. They think it's cute to do this kind of stuff. Thank you, Michael. That's very sweet. I appreciate you so much. Have I heard from Erin? No, but she did say it would take a while to be able to do it because she said she has a lot of stuff to say. Hey, it's Kisaragi. I'm glad your channel keeps on growing as well as other. I agree. Support anti-dog platforms. No, skin folds are not optimal for hygiene. So the fact that they even bred this, and once again, they breed this stuff into them because they like it. Look at all the things they've done to cats and dogs and different animals in the sake of aesthetic pleasantness to them, which is terrible for the animal. We had gone over French bulldogs and how these dogs, not only they can't breed with each other because they will die of exasperation trying to breathe, they can't give birth to their own litters. Half the time they won't even feed their own puppies because they haven't gone through the natural birth process. And everyone loves these things. They think they're so cute. They don't give a fuck about what it's doing to the animal. They don't care if the animal's suffering so long as they get this weird shit. And, you know, guys, another one, you've seen like those Munchkin cats where they found a mutation that made the cat's legs like this long. And then just kept breeding them to do that. It's fucking bizarre, man. There's nothing good about that for the animal. And these people claim to love animals. Now, this is an older article, but still worth mentioning. And it was brought up on the Facebook page. Matt put it up, and it was from 2014. But it was by an author named, let me get my computer closer, I'm sorry, or my face. By an author named David A. Billmeyer, okay? He's a professor and director of the Division of Craniofacial Pediatric Plastic Surgery at Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center. So we've gone over this a couple times, so I'm going to go through it a little bit, and then we'll go touch back on it. As one for the last 30 years has been on the receiving end of dog bite injuries that pass through the Children's Hospital emergency room, as well as on the staff at the Shriners Hospital for Children, where we see the late effects of these injuries from across the nation, I can categorically tell you that the problems associated with dog bites are indeed breed specific. When I started my career, the most common dog bite injuries were from German Shepherds and occasionally Retrievers. These injuries were almost always provoked, such as food related or stepping on the dog. And in almost every instance, the dog reacted with a single snap and release, essentially a warning shot, and there were no pack attacks. Starting about 25 years ago, and this touches on what Morpheus is talking about. Hey, Slog, good to see you. Thank you. No, we're glad that we're growing. Starting about 25 years ago, my colleagues and I started to see disturbingly different types of injuries. Instead of warning bites, we saw wounds where flesh was torn from the victim. There were multiple bite wounds covering many anatomical sites, and the attacks were generally unprovoked, persistent, and often involved more than one dog. In every instance, the dog involved was a pit bull or a pit bull mix. Oh no. Well, let's check the service here. Okay, service is okay. So it was just your screen then. Okay, cool. I was like, I've been trying to watch that and go live at hours of the day where my service is better. Kittens. Hey, good to see you. It does sounds like an opening to a horror story. So we've talked about this article a few times, but I'll do the main paragraph here and we'll move on. Hey, Joseph, good to see you. I recently gave a talk summarizing my 30 years of practice in pediatric plastic and reconstructive surgery, and one segment was titled, Why I Hate Pit Bulls. I watched a child bleed to death one night in our operating room because a pit bull had torn his throat out. I've had to rebuild the skull of a child who had his ears and entire scalp torn off, the degloving, right? I am currently reconstructing the face of a child, half of whose face was torn off down to the bone. I've had to rebuild noses, lips, eyelids, jaws, and cheeks of numerous children. On older children, I've had to reconstruct the legs and hands. The unfortunate young victims whose recent attack was initiated. This discussion will bear the scars of this attack for the rest of their life. Based on my extensive experience, I believe the risk posed by pit bulls is equivalent to placing a loaded gun with the safety off on the coffee table. In my opinion, these dogs should be banned. I know this is an unpopular stand in some circles, but how many mauled children do we have to see before we realize the folly of allowing these dogs to exist? I don't know what that noise was, my phone. Oh. You are. Sorry, typo. Sorry, I was messaging someone in my house and I totally fucked up. Yeah, so yes, good to see everybody. Good to see all of you guys. It's a pleasure to have everybody here. Joseph, as usual, always good to see you. And so now let's move on to this shit. The Orc Wrench sent me this, and I've been meaning to get to it. It's a YouTube video, and it's kind of long, so I'm going to put it in the description, but I am going to play a short soundbite from it, and I'm going to read you the email so you can know what we're talking about here. And this is interesting stuff, indeed. The YouTube video covers another dog fucker that has been uncovered and doxxed. The guy they are talking about on the video has ties to aerospace tech, companies, and Russian millionaires. He works as a massage therapist. Can you imagine going to your massage therapist and knowing he's into this shit? Okay? Ew. I've been following the case on this guy for a while. He apparently runs a huge bestiality ring. I hope he's exposed and has his life destroyed. These sickos are everywhere. And it also goes without saying, he's a furry. Let's play a few minutes of the video. I'd say maybe 2 minutes or so of this video. And let you guys, hey, Gabriel, welcome to church. Much love to you, honey. So let's get into this video. I'm going to play it from a certain point. I actually screened it earlier to see what the best parts to play were. Of course, because it's a YouTube video, they go through this and that. So we're going to skip forward, and I'm only going to play a couple minutes of it. I just want you guys to get an idea of what's going on here. And appreciation big time to the Orc Wrench for sending this info over. So let's jump into this bitch, shall we?
Sticking it in literal bitches it's not the move, you know?
The whole gang has arrived.
Okay, what's in the leak? The leak has 4 years of chat from 2015 to 2021.
There are pictures of him and all his buddies dressed as furries, and they have like the whole like evil looking furry thing going on.
7 fuck off gigs of dog fucker archives, like.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Note that the archive has been removed and over CP and dog fucking concerns. Of course, Mega are providing info to relevant bioluminescent individuals. We decided not to look at it, and you shouldn't either, because it's never a smart idea. You are ultimately on your own, okay?
Kim Dyer is an aerospace engineer. While working on satellites, he manages a radio station, and he started a massage business to switch careers That led a deal to start a spa franchise worth millions. As a certified therapist and member of the Associated Bodywork and Massage Professionals, I have no fucking idea what that is, but I'm going to take the word that it's big. How do we feel about this, man? Authoring on health and wellness.
Dude, just like let people enjoy things.
Yeah, he seems like a health expert.
Yeah, you know,
Just the face of it feels good. Do it.
the dysentery strained poop of the dog, it'll just help you out, bro. Trust me.
Move over, Supreme Gentleman. We got a fucking furry patriarch right now.
That sounds so fucking gay.
If someone's asked me that, I would actually call them a retard.
I could probably sneak you in if you were 20-ish, but 18 would be tough because those 18-year-old cheeks blur the guards, I guess. The files were exported by physical access to a shared device logged into a Ring members account. God, this is some Mission Impossible shit right here. Par for the course. Sources say police didn't take animal abuse seriously, so the case is assumed attractive.
And I'll read to you part of this because they skipped through it. And like I said, it's about a 20-minute long video, so it's going to be in the description. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. But in February of 2021, the files were exported by physical access to a shared device logged into a Ring member's account. He runs a bestiality ring. When the flies were collected, they were sent to Denver police. Par for the course, sources say police didn't take animal abuse seriously, so the case is assumed on track to go cold. But in July of 2021, an anonymous Twitter account published screenshots and names, with the leak no longer confidential. More sources broke silence. They went to get new management for events, push predators out, and protect the community. The full chat logs have much more info than the leaked screenshots. Multiple close personal sources confirm they include accurate personal ID, contacts, patterns of speech, and intimate details, locations of homes, work, school, original photos, videos showing users' faces, the pets, and contemporary movements. There's also a confidential business plan marked "Do Not Distribute" that Dieter, the guy who's involved, distributed to impress Kevin. It has bio naming Dieter as producer of Foxtrot Party. That's the name of their bestiality bullshit.
Go cold. Yeah, that kind of happened with, like, what was that motherfucker's name? Carol the Wolf?
Kara only got like a year or something like that.
Yeah, Kira got a slap on the wrist from what I can tell.
There's also confidential business plan marked "Do Not Distribute" that Dieter distributes.
The leak and business plan show Dieter approached his non-fandom business partners. They probably didn't even know his secret. Imagine their faces when they learned how he had leaked the confidential info by mixing business and bestiality. His double life was a balancing act, okay, with rape, animal rape.
Press Kevin. The leak and business plan shows Dieter approach.
See, he, like I said, he'll go through it, and he keeps calling him Dieter. It's Dieter. I know the name, trust me. The leak and business plan shows that Dieter approached his non-fandom business. Oh, I did that part. Excuse me. Dieter's double life was a balancing act. He was full of ambition and privilege, but including he had private sexual info about Jared Poles, the governor of Colorado, via a mutual acquaintance of the governor, high achievement in aerospace industry, even connecting through furries. Okay. Introduction to a Russian businessman and university president. Okay. Mikhail Brodsky by a furry who worked for Burning Man. Impressing Brodsky, the founder of a bathhouse in San Francisco, with a pitch to start a business together. The deal would use Dieter's engineering and massage background for a new bathhouse franchise in Denver. It would have a 10-year lease costing millions, which profit shared by Dieter, his friend, and Brodsky. Dieter planned a $1.5 million in building improvements and his own restaurant at the bathhouse called the Fox Lounge. This is all these terms they're using to get away with what they're doing here, okay?
His non-fandom business partners. They probably didn't know his info set right here. Private sexual info about Jared Polly. I don't know. Is that how
Real Fed would have.
high achievement in the aerospace industry, even connecting to first from Spokes? How surprising. Impressing Brodsky, founder of a bathhouse in San his friend named Brodsky. Their plan, visit, Dieter met the son of a...
Even if the non-fandom business partners didn't know about the bestiality, Dieter's secret life shows how corruption can sneak in. It also makes a threat of retaliation to protect investment by friends of billionaires. Power is vastly unequal when the truth can get buried by cost to defend it. Therefore, investigators use anonymity to protect the truth. Okay? Now, like I said, I can go on and on and on into this. Hey, doggy and kitty. I can go on and on and on into this. But like I said, it's a 20-minute long video. So I will throw it into the description. I suggest you guys definitely give this video a watch. These guys did a great job covering this. Definitely check it out. Let me see what you guys are saying over here. Okay, tell us the funniest story, Cosmo. I knew this guy back in college who was autistic and had trouble moderating the sound of his voice. One time he had a fixation on hating furries. He'd occasionally do this with various groups. I taught martial arts class at the college, and he'd walk in and say and do the most outrageous stuff. One time he came in one of his rants, I told him to keep it down during class. His response? I'm just saying, we should probably gas all the dog fuckers. I tried to be the serious karate teacher type, but I could not hold back laughter from that. Oh my God. I wouldn't have been able to hold that in either. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah. Predator meat is usually pretty gross. He's actually right. Jennifer said this is so embarrassing. You mean for the dog fucker? Yeah. Oh, someone just backed up and front-ended someone in front of your house, Isabel? Damn. I hope everybody's okay. Yeah, Joseph, it's ridiculous. I'm having golden turmeric milk. All right. So I'm getting secondhand embarrassment for the human race. Yeah. Guys, this is insane. Jennifer says, I'm in Colorado. This doesn't surprise me. It's Dog Nut Central around here. I don't see any furries around. Well, they don't do it usually out in the public. It's usually something they do to themselves behind closed doors. Kazo says he literally texted once in the group chat, we need to do something to the furries that will make the Holocaust look like a fucking joke. This guy, man, that's funny shit right there. Oh, cool. Yeah, send her in. She's 19 years old. Fucking A, man. Let her check it out. Oh, no, I like it with a little turmeric. I make my own, though, at home. So, they're okay, but the front end is banged up. Okay, well, better than your rear end being banged up. Oh. What do you think about the talking husky video you sent? Oh, yeah, that might be in here. But remember, Joseph, I've been so busy. So I've got the email. I looked at it, but it doesn't mean we'll get to it today. Because when I do, hey, Annabelle, turmeric tastes like mustard to me. When I do the emails, I go from like way back when I first got them and I move forward. So just remember, guys, if you don't hear or see one of your emails, it's coming down the line. And then you have all of your most recent like attack stories. So I always jump on those first to get that out there. So on from dog fucking and into something new. We're going to go back to the back of the emails again, like I said, and get into this. Here are 20 stories of children that were killed by family pets. And they go through some other family pets too. But for the sake of staying on topic, we're going to stick to the dog ones. Okay. And so family dog kills 2-year-old. Okay. When 2-year-old Taylin Devon was left alone with her family's pit bull mix, she was mauled to death. The attack shocked the toddler's father, who described the dog as normally friendly. He told local media in Pittsburgh, I came out of the kitchen and the dog dropped the baby. His name was Asshole, and my baby was gone. Devon continued, some man came and took the dog. I hope they killed the dog. That's what I hope. He killed my baby, so I hope it happens to him too. The dog was placed under quarantine shortly after the attack. Baby's first birthday turns tragic when dog attacks. A Las Vegas family was celebrating their son's birthday when the baby was unexpectedly attacked by the family dog. Jeremiah Askew Shahan had grabbed onto the 6-year-old Mastiff Rhodesian Ridge's fur to pull himself up, which prompted the dog to react. The 120-pound dog bit the boy's head and began viciously shaking him back and forth. The family finally removed the boy from the dog's jaws, but it was too late. The dog had broken its neck. The dog was then placed on observation after the attack. Toddler dismembered by family dog. 2-month-old Aiden McGrew was in a baby swing inside his Ridgeville, South Carolina home when the family dog, Baby Mauler, attacked him. The golden retriever lab mix. Here's another golden retriever story. We'd had that discussion where someone was like, I haven't seen many things about golden retrievers attacking. I have. Pulled Aiden from the swing and tore off the child's legs. Aiden's father was sleeping while the vicious attack took place, and the boy's mother found his body when she returned home. Aiden was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. 3-year-old mauled by husky. Brandy Furlong left her 3-day-old son, Howard Nicholson, alone with her murder Oreo when she went to use the bathroom. When she returned, she found her son bleeding from his head and the murder Oreo hovering above him. The baby was taken to a children's hospital in Pittsburgh where he died from severe injuries. The dog was sent to live out his life in an out-of-state dog sanctuary. Why do we do this? Why do we have to protect these things and send them so... That's the part I'll never get. I mean, I don't get all of it, right? I don't understand any of it. But past the brainwashing and past everything else and past the fact that everybody thinks dogs are good and all of this, when did this happen? When did it go from killing a dog that bit and attacked children to sending the dog to a dog sanctuary to live out its life after it killed a child? And they literally said that the child's bleeding out of its head after she used the restroom, hovering over the baby. And the dog's living out its life in a sanctuary. Sister finds 9-year-old brother dead from a dog attack. In January of 2016, Alexandria Griffin had returned from her 2-hour work shift to find her 9-year-old brother, Tyler, dead inside her home. Tyler was left alone with 3 pit bull dogs who had never shown aggression to the boy prior to the attack. Griffin had told the media, "I will never forgive myself for leaving him. I promised myself I would protect him and never leave him. And whether it's my fault or not, I will never forgive myself for it." The brother had only recently reconnected after being separated by the foster care system. Guys, like I said, one child's death is too much for me. Cough prompts dog to attack 3-year-old baby. San Diego couple were lying in bed watching TV with their 3-day-old son. Oh, 3-day-old, excuse me. When the dog attacked the child. The attack was prompted after the child's mother coughed, and it startled the dog. Baby murderer, a terrier mix, bit the baby, and the child died from its injuries. The family reportedly made 2 failed attempts to call 911 before bringing the baby to the hospital themselves. The family dog was eventually euthanized after the incident. Baby dies after dog tries to pick him up. You like how they painted over that? In Youngstown, Ohio, newborn baby Aiden was sleeping in a makeshift crib when he suffered fatal head injuries caused by the family dog, a shepherd lab mix. That wasn't attacking the baby. The dog was simply trying to pick the child up. The coroner ruled the death as an accident. Aiden's mother brought the family pet back home after her son was killed. She believed it was an accident and appealed to the state. Says to the state's designation of the animal as vicious. If this isn't a mental disorder or a demon, if this isn't animal worship, then I don't know what is. What other animal, what other creature on this planet does not fight for their young? This woman brought the dog back into the home and kept it. Matter of fact, she probably still has the dog. Now, this is a story about when pets kill children. And I have to be honest, I've only had to skip through 4 other stories. They're all dogs. Dog owner faces charges after dog kills 4-year-old. 4-year-old Xavier Strickland, remember this story, is walking in his Detroit neighborhood with his mother when he was mauled by a pack of pit bulls. The boy suffered over 90 wounds and died of abdominal injuries at the hospital. The pit's owner, Janiki Lyons, was charged with the boy's murder. He has been arraigned for second-degree murder, manslaughter, and possessing dangerous animals that cause death. And fine, okay. Pomeranian kills infant when uncle leaves to prepare her bottle. In October of 2000, a Los Angeles family suffered the loss of their 6-week-old daughter. And she was attacked by the Pomeranian. The girl's uncle was babysitting the girl at the time of the accident. He left to go get her bottle and came back and saw the dog on the bed attacking the child. He quickly removed the dog from the young girl and called for help. She died later on at the hospital. Teen mom throws newborn baby to be eaten by family dog. In 2001, a Brooklyn teen who had hidden her pregnancy reportedly threw the newborn into the backyard to be eaten by the family dog, a German Shepherd mix. 16-year-old Lisa Small told the police the baby was stillborn when she had delivered it. Upon medical examination, it was determined the baby had been smothered by Small before the dog mauled it. She was charged with manslaughter. Mother injured trying to save son's life during dog attack. Luana Moniz desperately tried to save her 18-month-old son from an 80-pound pit bull when it attacked and killed him. The 24-year-old mother from Hawaii suffered numerous injuries after the dog turned on her. Her friends had to fight the dog off with a pickaxe. There are more of these, but we'll stop. Yeah, this is enough to put you in a rage. This is enough to say, like, this is enough. Hey, Tesos. Good to see you. Hey, Queen Cat. Good to see you. Much love, man. What we got? What are y'all up to over here? This Mikhail is not me. I thought the same thing when I seen the name. Back to depression. Don't worry. We'll cheer you up eventually. You know that's how I roll around here. Let me guess. It's never shown aggression before. Exactly, Beanie Girl. That's how they do it. Observation for what? I ask all the same questions. For what? It murdered a child. Kill it. Husky is like 3 times bigger than a 3-year-old. A dog, no shit. And like I said, I'll put the ban all dogs, everybody else, I'll put the link in the description in case you guys want to see these kinds of things. And I've been showing the videos off of the phone. So, Cosmo says, I literally have no idea. Absolutely, Billy. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. Absolutely. It's absolutely insane. Teso says, if we raise awareness, the dog brainwashing culture will crumble. That's why I'm here. And I talk to everybody I know about it. And you guys know how often I'm talking to my friends and they're like, so, a dog hating channel, huh? I've watched a few videos and, you know, some of the people say some pretty wild stuff in the chats, but I mean, like, you're not wrong. And everybody always asks me the same question. I got asked twice today. Was there something specific that made you start hating them? And I looked up to one of the people who asked me today and I'm like, how much time do you have? It's all of the things. It's from that first chow that I expressed earlier that my uncle had all the way up to today. It's all of it. And I was like, you know, isn't like one. And as I said to a dog owning person who asked me earlier, I understand that you have your dog and you think your dog is nice and everything. And I get that, right? I'm like, but what about how many people are hurt by these things and killed by them? What about that? Like, you know, at a certain point, like, don't you think people aren't responsible enough to even own these things because they can hurt people? And I threw some of that out there and they're all like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And yeah. And they always start out with the whole like, well, you know, people really don't know how to hold on to their dogs. Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about, you know? So when you have someone whom has a murder Oreo kill a child and then the dog goes to a sanctuary, what do you think would happen if I killed a 3-day-old baby? I'd probably get the death penalty, right? So I don't know. You're right, Tesos. If we stick to it and then we can break it down and people can understand, right? Because they're not going to understand. And that's why I try to use compassion. That's why I can kind of talk to you guys about some things, especially privately over email or on the Signal app or on the Facebook channel. But then I'm far more approachable when I'm talking to the actual dog owners, right? Because you can't open minds and hearts with a closed mind and heart. You can't seem like a dog murdering psycho, you guys over here in the chat. You have to be easygoing, right? I've said before, like, even if someone has a tiny dog and that makes you mad, because I hate little tiny dogs too, I just go for what I know we can relate on. So I'll be like, hey, how many times have you been attacked by pit bulls while you're out trying to walk tiny, stupid Fluffy, right? And they're like, oh my God, like all the time. And I have to carry a gun. And Like I told you guys before, one of my clients, so she has an annoying little dog, and I said that, and she's like, this pit bull attacked us, and she was shredding him, and I got him away, and then it bit me, and she's showing me the wounds, and then she's like, but a week later, my friend was jogging by, and she stopped to say hi, and the same dog showed up and attacked her, and it was shredding her apart, and she's like 90 years old, and I called the police, and they killed it. And I'm like, bad dogs, huh? And then she's like, and I hate Rottweilers, and I hate German Shepherds, and I hate to, if you give them the chance, if I just came right at her like, I hate dogs, you know what I'm saying? Then she'd be like, oh, Fluffy, you know, like think I'm going to kill him. No, you know, let's start the dialogue and let's work together rather than becoming aggressive. So I know that's hard for some of us. I know some of us say like, fuck that, I gave up on that. That's totally fine. I understand. We all have to do what works for us. Cosmo says it's a deep societal fear of pragmatic and targeted killing. Yeah, I'm all against the mud huts. We already know that. And it pisses me off to no end that we have these mud huts and shelters that are super clean and well-funded and have more volunteers than they know what to do with. And then we have foster care systems and homeless shelters that are filthy and have bed bugs, and these people are suffering and sleeping outside, and they're constantly running out of funding, and they're giving them shitty food and old dusty-ass mashed potatoes every day that don't even have enough water in them, you know, but Fluffy is eating... Dude, like the Thanksgiving thing, remember that? They're providing Thanksgiving dinners at dog shelters. Full-on Thanksgiving dinners. I've gone without Thanksgiving dinner over and over again, God damn it. But these dogs are eating turkeys and shit and mashed potatoes, and they put it on the news. I'm like, wouldn't you be more proud to go be like, man, there's this foster care down the road, and there's a bunch of children without parents. Let's feed them Thanksgiving and go spend time with them. Let's take pictures of that. But no, because you can't. Wait a minute. That was going to sound weird. Because you can't rub all over toddlers. That's what I was going to say, and nor should you be. Fuck. Joseph says that's child sacrifice right there in that situation, Ashley. Absolutely. You know, and that woman, the dog killed her child, and then she went and appealed to the state and said, no, it was an accident. The dog was picking the baby up. And she took the dog home. What other species does that? If that's not brainwashing at its finest, a dog killed my kid like that, I'd be on a dog hating spree for the rest of my fucking life. I would literally turn into a pit bull and start killing everyone. This woman is sitting at home with the very dog that killed her baby. To this day. Rubbing and petting on this fucking dog that killed her child. Ban All Dog says, as long as the mutt is fed, it doesn't give a shit where it lives. He's right. Annabelle, what effing sanctuary is collecting baby-killing dogs? You notice they didn't say that. They said out-of-state sanctuary. Probably Kentucky. A lot of bestiality over there, and it took place in Ohio, right? Right. 3-day. Yeah, 3-day. Yeah, one child dying should warrant all dog breeds being banned, breeding stopped, and dangerous dogs euthanized. I agree with Billy Bob. To me, the one child's enough. We're not talking one child. We're talking dozens. And then you have craniofacial pediatric surgeons saying like, hey guys, like this is a huge problem. Shouldn't we do something about this? Like I have to operate on several children a day. And he says, as I watch children bleed out on the operating table, and the ones that I can save are severely disfigured and their whole lives are changed. Isn't it time to talk about this? And everybody's like, boo this man. I love dogs. More than you love kids, apparently. And, you know, IHD brought it up earlier, and it was a very valid point, and it pissed me off. These stories about these children that we look up, 45 seconds long, a minute and a half long. How long was the thing about the dog that the dude, like, barely bumped it in the chest, and the dog didn't even make a sound? 4.5 minute long newscast about Pit Fluffy getting popped in the chest. They have to be popped. You have to hit those things. They're fucking aggressive. They have to know you're in charge. This guy barely hit the dog. And the dog stood there and went, oh. You know, he didn't even notice it. And everybody was like, oh, God, I can't watch this. It's so disturbing. You come to our world and look at what we have to look at every fucking day. That's disturbing. Not some fucking dog getting slapped in the chest. Fuck me, Side Sally. What the hell's wrong with everybody? That's what I say, Isabel. Good. Kisarage says, should we wait for another case? Tragedy of remorseless dog attacks? Waiting for someone to be the victim to change their minds and public perception of dog culture? I guess so. Hey, you know what? Let's wait till tomorrow when I get another 15 fucking emails we can talk about, and we can all call them happy little accidents again. Jennifer says they were probably trying to pose the baby with that dumbass for a picture. We know about that. And they'll lie about it later. And they'll say, oh, I went to the bathroom. Well, I was making a bottle. No. And the very same experts that they follow say, don't leave the child alone with the dog. Dogs aren't receptive to affection. Don't put your child on the dog. It can snap and turn around and bite them. Like the 3-day-old baby that's laying with its parents on the bed and the mother coughed. The dog jumped up and bit the child once. Dead. Dead. And that was the only normal family we just heard about in that article that went, I don't know where they took the dog, but I hope it died. It killed my child. Everybody else was like, man, I lost my dog. You lost your child. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Billy Bob, it's enraging. You know, I'll clean it all up later and we'll make a joke or something. Then it'll be okay. But right now it's not. It's fucking bullshit. These parents are liars. I agree. This shit is never ending, and there are no answers as to why. Exactly. Dogs don't try to pick kids up. It mauled the kid on purpose. That lady is a fucking fluffy fucker, and then she went and was like, oh no, he's just trying to pick up the kid. It's okay. Hey, J-Red's here. Man, I'll tell you. Shawnee Gothic, hey. Agreed. Dogs' lives do not matter. Shawnee, just so you know. Oh, is Aaron here? Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Just so you know, I'm not picking on you, but I know we'd had the discussion about golden retrievers. We just covered a story where a golden retriever ripped a child's legs off and it bled out and died. So the stories just keep popping up. It's terrible. So yes, fuck Fluffy. Hey, Chef Mutt Meat. All right, thank you, Beanie. Let's get into the next email because I know that was infuriating. So let's just go to something else infuriating, shall we? Let's see. I don't remember what the date of this one was. Okay. This was just back in March 28th of 2021, and I believe we had partially covered this story.
Little boy who was killed by 2 dogs remembered in New Jersey tonight. A community comes together to share fond memories of Aziz Ahmed and support the child's grieving family. The vigil comes as many call for justice in the boy's death. Eyewitness News reporter Naveen Dhaliwal is in Carteret with the story tonight. Naveen?
Yeah, Joe, they are heartbroken and they are angry tonight as they gather here in front of the Ahmed family home. You can hear them chanting justice for Aziz tonight. Now, this has been 2 weeks of absolute heartbreak for this family as well as the community. The Aziz family arrived home here for this vigil that is expected to bring out many loved ones.
Let's all just remember that this is not an isolated incident. We had this with Jaden Henderson's family and the dogs being alive and and they didn't face any charges. Same thing. As I've said before, you don't have to have a gun. Just get a dog. Flat out.
To remember the 3-year-old, he was playing in his backyard on Laurel Street when he was attacked and killed by 2 pit bulls back on March 16th. Those dogs belonged to the neighbors directly behind the family's home. They got past the fence and viciously attacked the child and his mother. Authorities say the dogs, who were not licensed, were put down, but what's making many people upset here is that no charges have been filed against the dog's owner.
I hope that the owner of the dogs does get prosecuted because, there was an innocent baby lost his life. The mother was like, they got the cops kicked.
I think Cosmos was the one who just said this, and I'll just back it up. The more and more this shit happens, and the more people have to see what we see all the time, and you have to stop and say, because when I tell people about this shit, they don't believe me. My friend will be like, oh, dog hating channel, huh? And I'm like, well, did you hear about those dogs that killed that child and nobody was charged and dogs are still alive? And they'll look at me like I'm making this shit up. And I'm like, I'm not making this up. This happens all the fucking time. As we all know, pit bulls kill someone every 16 days. Every 16 days. They don't go much longer than 20, and sometimes it's only 13. Over 67% of these attacks are family dogs. And a bunch are just having to live near them, as we all do. You could live in the middle of the fucking wilderness and live near one of these things. You can't get away from them.
Even when they came and they came fast, because she would have been dead too.
So everybody's pissed off, as they should be, and they're trying to mourn this child and his loss, and still can't. Playing in his own yard, Chef Muttmeat says. A child's survival odds should not be dependent on an idiot's decision to train their dog. And these dogs just dug right through the fence. T-Dog shows me videos all the time. There's a dog next door to her trying to jump the fence. Hey, we love you, Kisarage. And it's getting closer and closer. I mean, this dog's like bouncing over the fence, bouncing over the fence, bouncing over the fence. Eventually, this thing's going to get over the fence. Eventually, that thing is going to get through there. And if she doesn't have a weapon on her, you shouldn't have to carry a weapon in your own fucking backyard because your neighbors have a dog. And even she said, I think the dog's just fucking bored. I mean, it's just in this yard all day. And every time she sends me a video, the dog gets a little closer to getting over that fence. One day it will. And the neighbor next to her has a tiny little rat dog. Once it gets a hold of that rat dog, it's going for whoever's next. And we all know that. Everybody else can play the fucking game. Yeah, Chef says, I cover the story in one of my videos. It's fucking ridiculous. I do believe, I knew there was somewhere else I had seen it. I was like, I didn't cover this, but I've seen this story. Thank you. Something bad. Yeah, mutts. Exactly, Ban All Dog. Shawnee, definitely take some time. And Chef Muttmeat also has, what do we call it? A smut channel where she puts like all of her more horrific stuff for some of our truly angry dog haters with a lot of wild shit on it. I visit it here and there. I don't promote it on YouTube, just like Chef can't anymore because they keep taking her down. But she's got the website now because she has a lovely husband that helps her. And oh, I have a husband too. It's actually my fridge. It's my fridge. It's a nice guy. I'll introduce you guys to him. Oh, and also side note, while I'm being a fucking dork, I'll be doing work either tonight or tomorrow. There's been a lot of progress on the house. I know a whole bunch of people have been enjoying the work videos, so you might get one of those tonight or tomorrow, but I'm going to show you guys the progress that's been taking place. It looks great. Doug's done a great job. I've done a great job. I have a friend in from out of town that helped me, so we've all got a lot of shit done. It's really good. Fuck Fluffy straight to hell. I agree. These mutt lovers think children being attacked is the norm now. Ban all dogs, I'm telling you. Kills me. Kills me, kills me, kills me. Let's see. What else y'all got to say before I jump into the next one? At least people were outraged at this. Soon there will be mobs of anti-dog lobby. Chef, I was thinking the same thing when I seen this video. So you go from hearing about like that lady keeping the dog that killed her child and all this that makes you feel bad, and then you see something like this and you're like, people are starting to understand. This woman is like shocked, sitting there going like, but the dog killed a child. Like, why are the dogs still alive? Why aren't the owners being charged? I mean, these are good questions. So Kisaragi says, imagine the so-called guard dog breed remained asleep at night while an intruder is sneaking in, while one day it snapped at an owner's innocent child for doing nothing while the parents are away on business. Actually, that's happened a few times, as we all know. And these things are worthless as guard dogs. If you got a gun or a piece of steak or a billy club, this ain't shit. Dogs ain't shit. Remember that guy who was trying to hit on me on Facebook and he told me about his dogs and how he had them for guard dogs? And I'm like, look, I'm a woman and I'm telling you, I ain't doing shit. And if you want to get into the house, dog's easy to deal with. You either throw a T-bone. And the guy was so fucking brainwashed that he's like, no. I trained my dog. She only eats things I give her. And I started laughing my ass off. I was like, yeah, if you're standing in the room, maybe you can get it to do that. But the moment you're not around and you're not there, I come in the door and hand your dog a fucking steak. It's eating it, bitch. Don't give me that shit. Oh, God. I am too, Isabel. I'm glad that the people want justice. They need to speak up. People need to speak up more often. Beanie says, Chef's channel is where I go when I'm feeling dirty. I almost made a masturbation joke, but I stopped myself. Did you guys like that? That was beautiful of me. Aaron, we're looking forward to your emails. No pressure, but we are looking forward to that. Razor wire. Yeah, Aaron, sure. But damn, I have to have razor wire all over my house to deal with these dogs. Apparently, I do to be safe. And Billy Bob says it should be mandatory for a dog owner, and they should have to pay for it. You know, it's true. If your dog, there's some states where this is totally the case. We were reading about what was it, New York the other day, and there's a couple other places that have strict liability laws. You know, remember, I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV. Look at me. That actually, if the dog attacks anything, or it was to ruin your flowers, your planters, they'd have to pay for it. There are other states that consider dogs the valuable item. So if the dog was attacking me and I committed to overkill, as we all know, as the lawyers go into about what you're allowed to do to a dog that's attacking you and what you're not, which is absurd, but okay, I have to pay for that. If Fluffy has to go have surgery, I have to pay for that. If they decide to have a big elaborate funeral for Fluffy because I killed his ass, I have to pay for that. Okay? So let's go on into what else. She said, hook a car battery up to your side of the fence. No, on my ass, I would get shocked by it. Yeah, well, you take a steak, right? We've talked about this. So let's get into the next article, guys. Oh, boy. This one's interesting. I'm part of the silent population that hates dogs. All right? This is only from a couple years ago. So, hold on. I'm trying to make this ad go away. There we go. According to Google, I'm a monster. Well, that's one of the first results that come up when you search people that don't like dogs. Everyone around me is happily patting dogs, tagging each other in puppy memes, and dreaming about their future dogs. I'm part of the rare breed whose tail doesn't wag at the faintest sight of a four-legged creature. One day, after bring your dog to work day, I'm finally speaking out in solidarity for others who feel the same. Please tell me someone else is out there. Hello? Let me explain. I didn't grow up with dogs or pets. Few people I knew had dogs, which meant I didn't really get exposed to them, and I didn't ever see them as fun and friendly creatures. I don't remember my first encounter with a furry dog. I do recall when I was about 9 years old and the Great Dane that moved in down the road, ironically called Tiny, got overexcited as a group of us played in the street, jumped on its back legs, towering over my 10-year-old sister, and I stood still, my feet firmly stuck in the cement, absolutely petrified and unable to help my sister. What followed was years of my sister and I having a fear of dogs. We became the people that dog lovers absolutely hated. If we went to a house that contained a dog, our parents would have to request the dogs be put into another room before we would even consider entering. It's not just dogs, though. I'm just not an animal person in general. I spent years sitting in fear that a pet cat will come slinking toward me. I hated it with a passion when it's my turn to look after the school guinea pig over the weekend. I was terrible at picking up rabbits my sister eventually got as she entered her teens, and I had a crippling fear of going to the zoo. I'm a lot better than I used to be. I'll okay with having a dog going around me or reaching over and giving them a begrudging pat. I'm even on unreasonably friendly terms with a dog that some of my best friends have. Cats generally keep to themselves, so I can deal with that. I'm not completely soulless. I can appreciate, like, a dog, your dog in these pictures, but I'm missing that gene or trait. I just don't slobber and freak out uncontrollably every time a dog passes me by. It can be a lonely existence. For everyone else, dog is man's best friend, and that's what they all say. I have to hide my indifference, fake my enthusiasm, and it's exhausting. And I have a fear that people will judge me when they discover my true feelings for their beloved pup. It actually haunts me constantly. Only those who know me well enough and for a long time can understand the reason I won't be the first one to walk through a door of a household with a dog. People that can detect the wobbliness in my voice as I make a joke about being okay, as a strange dog jumps to my table to try to eat food right off of my plate. Disgusting. Fortunately, my colleagues' dogs have all been well behaved, and when they spend days at the office, but that doesn't quite block out the shock I get every time I see one or I feel them rub against me. I feel like I could have a heart attack. I'm not asking you to hide your dog or step away from bringing it in the office, but please be aware that not everyone feels the same way you do. We might not feel as honored to have a dog jump on us as we walk through the door. On behalf of my silent minority, I'm just asking for a bit of consideration. Please don't set these dogs out on us. You notice how she's very careful with her wording. She doesn't want to say much. Yeah, we are looking forward to that, Aaron. Aaron says shit bulls are the absolute worst. And sociopaths. He said give them a piece of shit. They'll eat it right up. That's true. So check this one out, guys. This one's interesting, to say the least. Runaway pit bull terrorizes Carrara residents and bites 12 people. This was from October 4th, so just the other day. Ferocious runaway pit bull bites 12 people, including 3 children, and terrorized the residents of the Sunny enclave of the street on Thursday. The victims, whom are residents of Sector 124 and the Sunny enclave of Jaunpur, were admitted to civil hospitals. Okay, let's see. They list a whole bunch of names off that I'm not going to butcher because I'm a white lady. So, you know, they heard everyone screaming in the streets after a 16-year-old girl was bitten by the pit bull. A man went to save her, but the dog attacked him as well. And another guy bitten by the same dog riding his bike when he was attacked. He fell off the bike and suffered a fracture in addition to the dog bites. At present time, we have no information about the dog or its owner. On Sunday, announcements were made to different villages cautioning residents about the runaround dog that's attacking everybody. So this cocksucker got like 12 people in the matter of like, what, 2 hours? You know. Hey, Slime, good to see you. Hey, Ling. And sorry for being so late. You're busy pulling a scam on my daughter, and I was handling that. Man, I've been there. We're happy to see you, though. Erin, whom used to work with PETA, and we're looking forward to some information from her, says it is an absolute joke. We actually covered PETA on a video talking about vegans claiming to love animals and then holding them as slaves and following all this bullshit that they do. So, Ling, we're glad you're here, and we're glad you're feeling better. And you know I got much love for you. Here's one. Savage Shih Tzu mauls child. You know, so we heard about the Pomeranian earlier. It's important that people remember that it's not just about big dogs. Tiny fluffies suck too. They suck ass. Zoe Banton was rushed to Base Hospital for facial surgery after a dog attacked her in her own front yard. 4-year-old's concerned mother said at about 7:15 p.m. a Maltese or Shih Tzu type dog, which was unknown to the family, bit her daughter in the driveway, causing lacerations to her right cheek and lower lip. All she did was say hello to it. She said it was a decent gash on her cheek and 2 tears in her lip, and she had to have surgery. They had to remove the dead tissue and stitched up what they could. Hopefully this little girl doesn't have any issues with capnocytophaga or anything, because we all know that is a real problem. And they say, oh, just put some Neosporin on it, put some fucking, hey, Moni Tony's here. You know, but that's not always going to do it. Super hard to live as part of that 0.0000001% when all the others call you a psychopath for not unconditionally worshiping the best friend of human. Yeah, well, we don't all see it that way, do we? And most of these children who've been attacked don't see it that way. So there was an update on the 16-month-old child that was mauled by the pit bull in Akron. As you know, I briefly touched on that story. IHD also talked about it. This update came the other day. Let's see here. So the update basically being the name and a couple other things. So her name is Cave Luis Calderon. She was found around 10:30 a.m. Sunday in a home, and she was killed by the pit bull while the couple argued. Police said she was at the residence when at least one of the 2 dogs became agitated during the altercation and attacked the child. Cave did not live at the house. Okay? And they called it a messed up tragedy. All right? So they've let her name out. I think it's better when they actually say, you know, to give her something. If they like to hide it. And this is, once again, this is an article that's this big. But the 10 least affectionate dog breeds article was 4 pages long. So let's see. That's right, Slime. I don't need a dog just to not feel alone. Yep, that's a good point. Alrighty, here's one. This one. This happened October 4th. Worker taken to hospital after she's bitten by a dog at a vet's office. Okay. Staten Island. Woman was taken to the hospital after she was bitten by a dog at a veterinarian office on Bay Street. A pit bull bit the worker who was taking it for a walk in a dog run behind the animal hospital, according to a source of knowledge with the investigation. The incident was reported just before 8:50 a.m. And the woman was bitten in the leg. Taken in stable condition to Richmond University Medical Center in West Brighton. Staff at the animal hospital did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Well, of course they didn't. Goes against their narrative. Can't talk about that, can we? Figures, it was a pit bull. These shit bulls, man. Oh, God damn it, this story. This is from Newsweek. It's also from October 4th. Woman mounts a rescue mission in a plane, saving 27 puppies from a kill shelter. More resources wasted on these things. I don't think I'll ever get over how many resources get wasted on these things. You know how many people there are sitting around that need to get to this place in the country or that, or just literally up the road to the store, or, out of a domestic violence situation, or out of poverty, or out of homelessness, that could use a fraction of this, just a bit of the help, and everybody spends it on dogs. Woman embarks on a rescue mission on a plane to save 27 puppies from a kill shelter in Alabama. Well, at least we know Alabama still has kill shelters. Cassandra Diana Marie was among a group of people who flew a Cessna from Enterprise to Orlando, Florida, with these unusual passengers. They've made a big TikTok thing about it. They've made a shit ton of money from it. And they did a 40-minute flight across state lines. The cabin is filled with dogs. People ate this shit up, okay? It was simply captioned, rescue flight. All the puppies have been adopted. It's been viewed more than 11 million times. Okay, and she answers the questions in the comments and been uploading all of these videos to go with it. And I'd just like to point out that we have T-Dog and Joseph and Christian Bale and many of you to thank for a lot of these videos. And so our articles said send those puppies to China. Oh, fuck me. All right, let's get into, oh boy, this one. Here's another one. There's been a few of these doozies today, so it's this is rough going, but this is part of the stuff that we have to talk about that people need to know about. This comes from asshole Reddit. We all know how I feel about Reddit, and to date, I still haven't sucked enough dick to be allowed to make a comment. Every time I try to comment, they're like, you don't have enough dick-sucking karma points to say that, and I'm still silent. I just won't suck up enough, so here we are. But I still take their articles every now and again, although I try to avoid it because they make me fucking angry, and I think they're one of the worst platforms on the planet. I know Chef agrees with me. We've talked about this a few times. Reddit pisses me off. But they have these pictures of this lady who's taking her dog around and letting it defecate and urinate on gravestones. And she thinks it's funny. And she's posting it all over Instagram. She shows a picture of her dog feces across this plaque on the ground, and it's been stepped in by the dog, and it's pushed down into all the letters, and says, this is her comment, proves that dogs have a better sense of humor than humans. As the dog is finished shitting on the gravestone, is coming back around in a circle to piss on these fresh flowers. So someone has just been out to this grave to, remember and honor the memory of this family member. And here comes this bitch. Now, we covered this way back in the beginning. Sosano sent me a request for me to talk about dogs in sacred places where they don't belong, and one of them being cemeteries. And she had experienced a person with a dog in a cemetery that was defecating on graves. And tiny little Sosano had the balls to say, hey, That's not cool. You shouldn't be letting your dog shit on people's graves. Is there no end to these people, man? And this reason 4,269, I hate your fucking dog. And I'm not too fond of you either, because you're the one dragging it over the gravestone. And then you make these fucking posts. If this was one of my family members' graves, and I seen this shit pop up on Instagram, there's literal poop all the way across it, I would find this lady and fuck her up with that dog, holding it by the back legs, and just beat the shit out of everybody. But there's about a dozen things I talk about on these videos every time that I would beat the fuck out of someone for. So here's a couple comments from Dog Free Reddit. There is a pit bull extremist who encourages others to defecate on the graves of certain pit bull victims. Now, I've read this story, specifically targeting the ones whose family members have become public safety advocates. Like, they have graves of children that the parents are now like, dude, these pit bulls are bad. I lost my child. I've lost my child, so what I can do now is speak out about this and let people know what happened to me. And there's literally a website, no shit, we'll cover it in the next video, that these people get together and talk about where these graves are, and they go and encourage their dogs to piss and shit on these children's graves. Ouch, my brain, y'all. Okay? I'm telling y'all, by the time this is over, I'm not going to be able to even do addition. All right? Just losing brain cells every time I hear something like this. Someone else comments, but we're the evil ones, right? Just because we don't like your dogs. We're the bad ones, right? Someone asked about, have you really seen them encouraging one another to do that? And the other person says yes, and I still have the screenshots. The individuals who do this will take screenshots of other people's reactions and then post them on the Pitbull haters' websites and Facebook pages. It's true. I've seen it. And I believe Christian Bale may have seen it. I know someone else has told me that they also seen this, which had encouraged me to look it up in the beginning. Or like we talked about the Out of the Blue Memorial, and there's so many of them. And they'll literally go and dox and trash these people that have lost their children, that have the balls to say something like, hey, we should really second guess what we're doing here. This dog killed my child in 3 seconds flat. I've lost my child. And they're like, fuck you, lady. And they're like over there having dog shit all. It's crazy. So, yes. And while I'm here, someone put up the link that I wanted. So, here's one that's being doxxed, and I'm going to go ahead and leave that up so I can come back to it later and we can get around to that. So, shit, right? Gling, I could see you doing that, Ashley. I really would. I would pick the dog up by its back legs and beat the shit out of someone. Slime says dogs are so unnatural. I'm surprised the dogs have a brain process for breathing. Is Oliver here? Hey, Oliver. There's no level too low for these people to stoop. J-Red, I agree. I'd stop it. It's will blow the mind of a person that actually has compassion and understanding for other things. IHD did talk about that. It's so messed up and disrespectful. Yeah, I am. Good. Hey, Oliver, I'm good to see you. Christian Bale says, I've seen similar types of harassment and pit bull victims from pit nutters. I thought you and I had talked about this a little bit. And even if it wasn't like the full-on turds, that it's other stuff. Is that Fish Lives Matter? My husband said we need to go incognito on one of those websites and bust them. That's a really good idea, and that's something I should talk to Tarcisia about. If you guys don't know, Tarcisia is a stone cold gangster bitch. She has busted a few people. She even found a guy who was putting smaller animals into kennels with pit bulls and recording it and putting it on YouTube. And she actually did all the investigation herself and turned it in and got them all arrested. She's done that a few times. She's a stone cold gangster. While the rest of us just sit around and pointing the finger and talking shit, and I'm over here like, sign my petition. She's all over here like, I'm gonna get these motherfuckers and I'm gonna make them pay. Like, and she does. I think it's fucking badass, dude. Like, yeah, make a series out of that. I totally agree. Tarcisia is a fucking gangster, y'all. Don't even know. And she goes to school and works her ass off, and she's one of the most intelligent people I've ever talked to. So, just throwing a little praise out there for Tarcisia. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, let's talk about this enraging, stupid shit that's come up a couple times this week. Not only did the whites, or as T-Dog's been calling them, the white Trashingtons, get another dog after their 2 dogs were euthanized that attacked and killed Jaden Henderson, but they made a shit ton of money off of that GoFundMe. Remember? They wanted all that money to help them, come up with a lawyer and save the fucking dogs, right? And so they spent the money all right. Here is a nice screenshot, which I'll most certainly include in the description, of their pit bull had viciously killed 7-year-old Jaden Henderson. The pit bull community had rallied around Amanda and Joe White Trashington to pay their legal bills. But these pieces of shit used the money. They bought 2 brand new cars, a brand new GMC truck, a brand new, looks like a Buick Rendezvous, and a brand new pit bull. Yeah, Gling, that's what I'm saying. They bought whole ass new cars. Brand new cars. We're not talking about, oh, I got me a 2010. They got 2021. Imagine the money. I'm not even fucking around. They don't care. They don't care. And someone put clown heads on them, in the pictures, which I really appreciated that because I'm tired of seeing these trashy fucking people's faces. Billy Bob, I agree. I hate the internet sometimes. But then, if it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't know you. So, tit for tat, or like swords and stuff, or something about like vodka glasses half full or some kind of shit. I don't know. I can't keep track. Yes, hit the like button, please. Oh, T-Dog already ordered some oils from Mountain Rose Herbs. So if you're interested in oils or any kind of concoctions and shit like that, and remember, I've got a whole video about using essential oils to repel dogs from you, from your yard, from your campsite, from your plants. You can feel free to email me and I will happily give you the recipes, or you can watch the video. And anything that you guys buy from Mountain Rose Herbs, they're technically our first sponsor. What? I got a sponsor, bitches. I couldn't believe they even accepted me. I thought when they seen the dog hating stuff, they were going to be like, we can't condone this. But they did. They were very cool about it. So Beanie just put up the link right there. If you go there to buy, and they have teas, they have seasonings, they have oils, all kinds of great shit. And if you guys got any questions at Ban All Dogs, I know I'll be talking to you on the phone. If you have any questions or things you want to know, there's natural pain relief on there, things to make your house smell good, things to make your ass smell good, and use that kind of stuff. Please. Yes, chef, please. And they're only asking me to make $50 this month, and then anything I make, they're paying me for, and they're doubling the payment this month. What? So I was like, shit, I order that much every month, so it's great. So let's get past all that money pushing shit. J-Red, you know that company too? You and I have way too much in common. I'll remember when you first showed up and you went, stop. You're a dog hater and an anarchist? Be still my beating heart. And I was like, say what? And then we had mutual friends on Facebook and everything. That was a fucking trip. Look, our world's not as small as we think. We all think we're this minority and there's no one else out there, but J-Red and I are a perfect example of that. Or there's a handful of you guys that say the same things as me. I used to be that fucking nut job that was like, animals are better than people, and I love this dog, and so video link on essential oils to repel dogs. I can do that, maybe. Actually, yes, I'll post. That's a good idea, Isabel. Thank you, moderators, for being smarter than me. I will take that video about the essential oils for dogs and I will post it in a link so you guys don't have to search through my hundreds of fucking videos to find it. That is a very good point. Damn it. You're very helpful. So I'll do that. And I'll post the link to the Mountain Rose Herbs. Let's move on. This is another one. I don't even know if I have the comedy this time, so you're just going to have to deal with my sterling smile and my wonderful personality. You guys know I'm funny. Laugh, fuckers, you dorks. Okay, maybe laugh at this. Monroe police. An officer shoots and kills a dog after a mother and child were attacked near a bus stop, and the cop shot the fucker.
For over 65 years,
he wasn't playing.
Families have trusted.
Shut up. He wasn't playing. Monroe, North Carolina, an officer from... Oh, and this was from October 4th as well. As you guys all know, a lot of people ask, how could you find that many stories? Where do you find this? It's very simple. It happens all day. I'm not just sitting here ranting about something that doesn't happen. This shit happens so much that you can't keep up with it. I remember when IHD first started helping promote me on his channel, he was like, I'm not intimidated. I want people talking about this. I couldn't cover all these stories if I wanted. It's kind of cool too, because he does like the topics and goes way in depth, and he's got all his video links and everything else. And I'm more of like a newscaster with a really filthy mouth. So you're welcome, motherfuckers. Fatherfuckers. That's what we were doing. Dog haters, sons of bitches, and dorks. This officer shot and killed a dog after the dog allegedly attacked a mother and child near a school bus stop Monday afternoon. The incident happened at a bus stop near the intersection of Old Charlotte Highway and Wilson Avenue. Huntley said a Rottweiler and a German Shepherd pit bull mix were roaming the area near the bus stop Monday afternoon. The lieutenant said that a 5-year-old child and the child's mother were attacked by the German Shepherd, the pit bull mix. It's a German Shepherd pit bull mix, as the child was getting off of the bus. The 5-year-old was hopping off of the school bus. The mother was awaiting the child. The dog in question had gotten loose from the backyard, attacked, and disfigured the child. The mother took action protecting her child and was also bitten in the process. She said police responded to the area, receiving 911 calls from people who were witnessing the dog attack. One of the officers was forced to shoot the German Shepherd Pit Bull mix after the dog had charged the officer. Generally, we try to take the least amount of force necessary in dealing with an animal. It's not very often that officers and other people are viciously attacked by an animal. Is it? Is it though? In this case, the officer had no choice other than to protect themselves and others from further attack. You see how even the cops have to explain themselves these days? We're sorry. We don't usually. We're sorry for this. We're sorry for that. Remember when the dogs charged the officer and he shot him, and they're talking about charging the guy? I'm like, dude, they were running right at him. He said twice, ma'am, get your dogs. Get your dogs. And he backs up and he finally shoots him. She's like, why did you do that? He was a puppy. No, that dog was standing over his damn knee. That ain't no damn puppy, bitch. Shut up. Who the hell shoots a puppy anyways? That's a waste of a bullet. You punt them. Come on. The officer that shot the dog and complained about the cost of the bullet. That was a fun one too. Chris Jenkins, a man who works near the bus stop, said he saw and heard the commotion surrounding the dog attack. Yeah, Jenkins said he witnessed the Monroe officer shoot the German Shepherd Pit Bull mix. He said he had saw the dogs run toward the officers prior to the shooting. They're still explaining why he shot the dog. Remember back in the day when the cops were just shooting dogs all the fucking time, and now it's this big thing they got to explain? I don't know. They backpedaled 10 to 12 steps, and the dogs just turned and came at them. There was nothing else to do but put the dog down. They're still explaining while they shot the dog. I want to know if the little girl and her mother is okay. What about you guys? We got to explain why they had to kill Fluffy first. Humans don't come first. It's Fluffy, right? Huntley said the dogs haven't. We're still talking about the dogs. Have an owner. It's unclear why the animals were out roaming around. What? He hopes the other dog owners take this incident as a lesson. Yeah, well, I do too, but I just don't see it happening. You can't have that size dog and those breeds roaming around like that, especially at a kid's bus stop. Huntley said the animal control investigators will be responsible for whether the owner of the dog faces any consequences. She said the Monroe Police Department will conduct its own investigation because a weapon was fired during Monday afternoon's situation. Once again, this whole firing the weapon, dogs attacking thing. Can't discharge a firearm in city limits. Fluffy's attacking me. Can't stab Fluffy and kill him because I'll get arrested. Fluffy's attacking me. Can't kill the dog and defend myself. Dog owner's yelling at me. This is like my friend saying, and he was like, he's always been kind of a low-key dog hater, but he's got a dog that he hates. It's a whole complicated story. And he says, now I see what you're talking about. And I'm trying to walk this stupid-ass dog, and here comes my neighbor's dog attacking us. And, of course, my dog does nothing to help me. He runs away. I'm like, yeah, because they're fucking worthless. He goes, yeah, the damn thing runs up the road and is watching me get my ass kicked from up at the end of the block, right? He goes, and then a woman runs outside that owns the dog and starts smacking me and going, why don't you just go? Why don't you just go? Like he did something wrong. He was just walking past the fucking house. You can't even exist around these things without one of these psychos freaking out on you. Pisses me off so fucking much, I swear to God. Monsters roaming the street. Hey, taco party. Hey, we got a couple comments on my... Hey, WS90. Mental oil and bear mace. Oh, WS90, you give me the giggles sometimes. I don't remember what the fuck you said that one time that had me going so bad, but man, you were killing me. J-Red says, I'm just full to the rafters with unpopular opinions. I am a plethora of unpopular shit with people. But I have a manner of delivering things with people and staying nice and cool and calm to where, like, and also I'm kind of scary, right? So it's like they can't really argue with me too much. They always end up going like, I guess you're right. You know, they look like they're going to cry. It's pretty fucking funny. Yeah. Isabel, anytime, Ashley. Good riddance. She said that cop's a hero. And Beanie says, you are funny as fuck, Ashley. Thank you. Battle Dog says, of course they were. These bully breed owners don't give a damn about anything or anyone. Yeah, I agree. Slime says, I remember on the IHD stream, he talked about a dumb lady saying it's just a little puppy. Same story. When they told the victim if they had a knife, which means they're trying to make the victims as killers, right? Beanie says, I love those videos so much. Nope, they won't learn. I agree with ban all dogs. A lot of these people aren't even worth the effort. They're just never going to learn. Damn, Fluffy. I'm high-key a dog hater. I am a high-key dog hater, and I cannot keep it to myself. I cannot. I try to be polite, but if somebody asks, oh, is it, Doug said something the other day about building a dog house that really was like a destroying, like, I'm like, you want me to build a death dog house? And he's like, I'm like, what about a doghouse that isn't a doghouse, but it has a punji pit inside of it? And one of the workers turns around and goes, man, you really hate dogs. I was like, I do really hate dogs. Like, I really hate them. Like, has anyone heard of this pibble? Shit, they call they call the pit bulls pibbles. Yes, Doug. We all love Doug around here. He's a good man. He's an asshole, though, and he eats too many lemon bars, and he works too much. But we love Doug. He's a good guy. He's helpful. We got the axe out. What happened to the no dogs allowed sign? They don't use them anymore. Nope. And that pibble stuff drives me insane. I meant when you thank the mods for mentioning the post. Oh, no. You're welcome, Isabel. Thank you, Isabel. You're the best, dude. You know how much I appreciate you guys. Seriously, I had so much love for you. Let's see what else we got here. We might be at the end of this. Maybe. Oh. I'm all. Hi, Doug. Hi, WS90. Yeah, everybody loves you, Doug, you asshole. And he watches these too after I make them too. And he's like, Walmart banned no dogs allowed sign. I don't know if that's true. Interesting. That's worth looking into. Somebody should give that a Google. And then I'll go over it, actually. Oh, shit. What date was this from? I know there's a reason that this is here. Other than to infuriate me. Sometimes, I swear that's why it's sent to me. Oh, this is the end of September, okay? Pitbull was killed after being forced to fight another dog, and the owner is now spending 10 years in prison. So this guy who hurt a dog is spending 10 years in prison, but the people who own the dog that killed the little kid are facing no charges. Or the people that own the dogs that killed Jaden Henderson are facing no charges. Or that lady that specifically got dogs because she was on parole and couldn't have a gun and used them in a robbery and confessed to doing it got 2 years. But if you fuck with a Fluffy, get ready to spend some hard time, okay? Meyer's dog won the fight, but victory was not enough to save him. Oh, Washington Post, you're terrible at this. After the win, Myers unleashed the unnamed pit bull one last time for a courtesy scratch, a dogfighting ritual in which the victor attacks a vanquished opponent or its corpse to show its gameness. The display in illegal dogfighting circles brings prestige to a handler. Injured and exhausted, Myers' dog refused to attack One-Eyed Willie. I'm going to name your dog after, okay. The pit bull he had just defeated in a gruesome 45-minute brawl. Okay, so now the dog has killed the other dog. Took him 45 minutes, and he doesn't want to attack the corpse. He doesn't want a courtesy scratch, okay? Enraged, Myers used a belt to hang the dog from a tree branch, choking him to death. This kind of applies as comedy, right? On Friday, Myers was sentenced to 10 years and 3 months in prison. Where did 3 months come from? After pleading guilty to conspiring to violate the Animal Welfare Act and illegally possessing a handgun as a felon. Which part did he get all the time for is what I'm more concerned about. He was among the last of 12 defendants to be sentenced in a 2017 Georgia dogfighting case. So this just dealt with at the end of September, but from 2017. National spotlight turned to the underground world of dogfighting when NFL superstar Michael Vick pled guilty in 2007 and 2008 to running an illegal dogfighting ring on one of his properties in southeastern Virginia. He was sentenced to 23 months in prison and paid nearly $1 million in restitution to care for the dozens of dogs that had been pulled from the bad news kennels, with federal authorities saying that Vick had run for 5 years. Congress increased the penalty to a 5-year felony and broadened the scope of the offense. Okay? States also had responded the same. Okay, so it's starting to become like a whole thing. Since 2008, dogfighting has been a felony in all 50 states. Law enforcement has also increasingly realized that animal cruelty often accompanies other crimes, giving officers added incentive to look into reports of fighting rings. And I hate to be that guy, but we've talked about this before. Most people that are into this shit or have a shit ton of these pit bulls are not exactly savory people. Okay? It usually goes along with a certain way of being. And, that's just, it's not always, but majority. Myers, who was 45 years old, was the most capable of defendants that was involved in the 2017 fight. He got hit with the harshest punishment. The most prison time any other defendants got was 2.5 years. Myers' attorney, federal public defender Catherine Williams, said they planned to appeal the sentence but declined to comment any further. This case arose out of a dogfight with a $100 admission fee. It happened on January 21st in 2017 in Georgia, Sumter County, a rural community with a shrinking population. All right. Myers had traveled about 100 miles from his home in Tallahassee with the 2 dogs, the one he pit against One-Eyed Willie and a second one that he planned to sell. Undercover video of the 2-fight event showed Myers goading his dog to keep attacking. Okay. But toward the end of the footage, both dogs became so exhausted and injured, their ability to continue fighting began to wane. Eventually, the designated referee declared Myers' dog the winner, but the owner grew enraged when the dog wouldn't perform a sadistic coup de grace to prove the winner that he would have kept mauling if the fight had continued. So Myers took off his belt, it's okay, to put it around the dog's neck and tried to hang the animal from the tailgate of a nearby van, court records had stated. When the van failed to support the weight, Myers swung the pit bull by his neck, took him over to a tree, and strung him up. These are animal lovers for you. It's difficult to conceive a greater amount of suffering that a human could inflict on a helpless animal. Federal agents and local sheriff's deputies found the dog's body under the bumper of Myers' Chrysler PT Cruiser. What a strange car for a dogfighting guy to own. You just think it would be something more badass, a PT Cruiser, Sorry, it just kind of cracks me up. When they raided the property, the second and final dogfight was about to start. After many of the participants had fled, law enforcement officers found an enclosed fighting pit smeared with blood. And even though both of the female dogs set to brawl in the second fight were still alive, one had suffered injuries so severe that she had to be put down. In Myers' PT Cruiser, agents discovered a .45 caliber pistol, a skin stapler that they used to repair wounds, syringes, 500 milliliters of injectable sodium chloride, which can be used to replenish as a replenishing fluid to keep the dog going. Prescription veterinary drug used to treat swelling and inflammation. They also collected about $18,000 in cash after the owners and spectators fled. Armed with search warrants, the federal agents had raided the homes of some of the defendants, and they found dozens of pit bulls in conditions that were consistent with dogfighting. Many were emaciated, scarred, injured, and agents also found dogfighting equipment, veterinary steroids, dog treadmills, record of animal fights, including whether or not they had died. The January 2017 dogfight had been planned for months and was part of an organized ring that included Myers and several others. To support the business, court records state Myers maintained properties to house, train, condition the pit bulls he then used in the dogfights. He kept intravenous tubing and bags, skin staplers, veterinary drugs to inject and treat those wounded during the fights. Myers and others also communicated extensively to set up the fights, arrange the animal sales, discuss dogfighting histories, share canine injury treatments, and swap tactics for evading the law enforcement. September 2018, more than a year after breaking up the dogfight, authorities raided a property in southwest Georgia where prosecutors alleged that Myers was keeping 27 pit bulls for his animal fighting venture. Myers has a history of dogfighting. In 2011, he was convicted of 33 counts of animal cruelty. This is in Florida. And let's see, in that case, they had found 13 pit bulls crated inside a residence he used to run a previous operation out of. Dogs had no access to food, and some of the crates were spattered with blood. Outside, authorities found another 13 dogs chained up, including 2 that were dead. A veterinarian determined that they both died of sepsis from untreated injuries. Some of the survivors struggled to stand, and other dogs were found to be severely emaciated. While deputies were there, a female dog dragged herself out of a crawl space from underneath the home. She had extensive fresh dog fighting injuries, swelling from those, and could not stand on her own. In one of the photographs, exposed tissue below the skin can be seen through the hole. Her suffering was acute, and a responding veterinarian decided to euthanize her. Myers served a long sentence in jail for these convictions as well. Still, prosecutors said investigations following the 2017 dogfight proved that Myers was utterly undeterred from his pattern of cruelty. He rebuilt a remarkably similar operation, which is why prosecutors pushed for a stiffer than normal sentence, 6 years in prison. So that's, and then, it sounds like the other came from the gun and being a felon. Those who chose to brutalize these animals for entertainment and profit must know that their criminal conduct will be severely punished. Federal judge added 4 years and then hit Myers with more than a decade in prison. So, don't beat up a dog. Don't take a dog into dog fighting, right? Oh, let's see what you guys are up to, and then we'll just call it a night. And I've got work to do, most likely tomorrow, because I don't feel like it. Oh, let's see what y'all are doing. That is so fucking retarded. Yes. Oh, hello and fuck Fluffy. Let's see. Dog abuse is overcriminalized. Big time, apparently. I live in a world that hates their own species, especially children. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't get it, Aaron. Jennifer says, what planet are we on? Where is this shit happening? The whole planet smells like dog shit. What a disgrace. I agree. Hey, Joseph, back again. Let's see. All right. Guys, we're done. So it's not like I'm not going to get hit with another 20 stories. Joseph, I've still got your message. In fact, I could cover it now, but I say we wait. It's already been long enough. I got to get my kid to bed. Moni Tony says, I'm afraid of altercations with dog lovers in real life. Those psychos can harm me in so many ways. They could run over me with a car. They could run away. Get sick the dog on you. Definitively, they would lie in court against me. Yeah. So, yes, Beanie put up the link for the Mountain Rose Herbs again. Okay. And y'all know my email. It's always in the description for every video. And fuck Fluffy, right? Wear your steel-toe boots, carry your mag lights, and as Four-Legged Plague has said, carry wasp spray. It's a good deterrent. Let's see, what else? Yes, thank you, Billy Bob. Always good. Have a great night. I was glad to hear from you and to see you here. And until next time, I appreciate every one of you. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to everyone who stops by, and thank you all for your friendship and your human common sense and love and intelligence that reminds me that I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not going to sing Michael Jackson to you guys. We'll just stop now. So much love. I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Good night, everyone. I agree, WS90, but not everybody can have a gun. Not every county allows it. Not everybody is allowed to. And so, it's do what you got to do. I suggest, have a gun. But if you can't, do what you got to do. Much love. I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye, stepdaughter. I love you. Tell your dad I miss him.